His love for man. And so when the man fell, God was pierced to the heart. God was frustrated. For the first time, the angels saw the weakness of God. In fact, the first time God cried was because of a man. He said Jesus wept. So God too can cry because of his affection for man, because of his love for man. The devil discovered this is God's weakness. If I deal with man, I deal with God. Those of you who are parents today, you know there are many people who cannot hurt you. They look for your children because they know that if they touch your children, they touch you. Because this one is not just something God created. This one is God himself extended. Because when God created man, the Bible said when he molded the dust, he breathed into the man. So what God called man is actually God in dust. God decided to put himself inside the vessel. So when you touch man, you touch God. When you hurt man, you hurt God. The devil discovered it, and so all of the arsenals of the devil was not against God. It was not against angels, it was against men. You are the one who thinks you are not important. And to prove that man was that important to God, when man fell, from that day God began to create a way of saving man. God himself left the throne and came into the garden. God killed an animal. Suddenly, God that only knows how to be worshipped, God became a worker. God came into the garden. God killed an animal and carried the cloth of the animal and covered the man, because he didn't want to kill the man. The Bible said, thou, O Lord, out of a purer eyes, your eyes cannot behold iniquity. If he sees the man in sin, he will kill him. And because he didn't want to kill him, he carried blood and covered him, so that when he look upon the blood, the innocence of the animal will atone the heart of God. The animal that was killed was innocent, so he needed to look at the blood of that innocent animal, because he can't kill the man. He loves the man. The man have become his weakness. And the devil said, now that I know, I will plunder you, God. Now that I know, I will break your heart, God. Now that I know, I will deal with you. And so when Jesus came, he told us the manifesto of the devil. In John chapter 10 verse 10, he said, the devil cometh not but for to kill, to steal, and to destroy. And so God's assignment was to create a way of saving the man. And there was no other way God could save the man except God himself becomes the victim. Because of the love God had for man, God decided to step down from his throne of glory. God decided to take off his garment of divinity. God decided to put upon himself the garment of man. God entered the womb of a woman, and God was there helplessly for 9 months. Whatever the woman ate, that was what God ate. Whatever the woman drank, that was what God drank. God stayed in the womb for 9 months. When God was born, Herod wanted to kill God. God was helpless. They had to carry God and run to Egypt to hide God.